Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. And as usual, I want to give you a little bit of a ramble about what I saw in Andor today, episode 8. And I've just put a few things out on the table which will help me sort of, go over what I saw. I don't really do these with a roadmap, or a script. So I'm just going to go off what I remember seeing earlier. Loved the episode. I'm loving the series, man. It's such a shame that we're getting all this data, the analytics are not looking good for the viewing, but still, bruh. And then there's this whole other stuff that's coming up, I don't know if it's scaremongering or not, but there's people who've now, I don't know, this movie, right? And I don't know the full ins and outs of that, except for the fact that it looks like it's a kind of a committee job, I don't know. I hope it's planned, whatever it is, but I don't know. I really shouldn't get into that because I don't know the full ins and outs, but I did watch Mr. H live stream yesterday, and I don't know, it just made me nervous. I got a bad vibe off it, man. And I don't know if it's set in the sequel trilogy era or not, but anyway, forget about that for now. This is awesome. Star Wars, so it is. It's so woven into the fabric of what I loved about Star Wars when I watched The New Hope. Absolutely love it, man. And when you think of the Empire and slavery and stuff, you think about Wookiees, right? But I'd like to think maybe it was all humans in this prison we saw on the episode, but they've probably got different prisons or wings for different species, I'd say, because there was not one alien in sight. And that is one gripe people have had with the series, that there's not enough aliens in it, but whatever, you do see lots of aliens. I mean, this fella showed up, but we'll talk about him later. We don't know what's behind that mask, but I'd assume he's not human. But anyway, the prison, good God, it made you realise how, nobody was disobeying the rules in there, because otherwise you get fried. Amazing how they can keep control in that prison. Terrifying. And it doesn't look like he's getting out anytime soon. I think somebody even said, the only, what did they say now? I can't quote them directly. Something like, the only thing you'll see is someone coming in or being brought out dead or something like that. But the guy in charge of the floor, who's also a convict, I guess, in charge of that wing, whatever, he's got 200 and something days left of his sentence. So I presume he has got to the esteem of maybe getting out. I don't know. I really don't know, man. It was frightening. Terrible situation. I don't know how he's going to get out, but it's not going to be easy, I tell you that. Wow, where else have we seen prisons in Star Wars? I think in Rogue One you saw the Labour camp, but you didn't get to see how ruthless the security measures or whatever in place. The floor basically can be electrified or whatever at different pulses. He got a dose of it when he first arrived. He said, there's no weapons in here, do you notice? But we don't need them. Press the thing, and they all, it was terrible. There was a kind of a fuzzy effect on the screen as well, and they all hit the deck, man. It looked painful. And apparently you can go up to setting 3. And as you saw, the floor was electrified or whatever outside their cells, and somebody obviously committed suicide and jumped out. All the convicts had Cockney accents, I noticed. I'm going to be smelling it all night, and all that. Anyway, that's just the American perception of criminals, I guess. I don't know, man. It's funny. It worked anyway, whatever. Reminded me of Alien 3, that, all the cons have got like English accents. Well, I might have ideas. You know what I mean? These guys were great. Just before he went to prison, they were getting pushed around by these guys again. So I have a set of these, which I didn't really want to open. I thought I had enough of them, but actually I'm more tempted than ever to get my Shore Troopers open. I've got a few on the shelf up there, which is my Rogue One shelf, but actually I want more. So thanks for that. Disney Plus, you've actually made me want to open that set now. I didn't really fancy it at first, but anyway, that's a separate issue. Bouncing around, not in any particular order, but we saw Gerrera as well. That was good to see, and that was an interesting conversation. The politics behind, he said, what are you, Lutheran, what are we? And it's making you question, what are we fighting for? Because don't forget, it all comes from a civil war, doesn't it? You had separatist and republic, and then obviously Lutheran quoted a couple of other factions or whatever, and then he said that he was pretty much saying that I'm independent. All he's after, I suppose, is freedom or almost anarchy. I guess I'm no bloody expert at breaking these things down. I'm just sort of speaking as I find. Only seen it once, but I assume he was just sort of saying to Lutheran, I'm freer than you. And but Lutheran admitted he was a coward, and all he was worried about was the overall control of the empire, which is, understandable really, because if you look at it in corporate terms, the empire is just bringing everything together. and keeping everything under control. And you saw that control in that prison, 100%. You know, nobody's going to disobey any orders in that place unless you wanted to die. You know what I'm saying? And somebody obviously saw that happen. But there you are, Mon Mothma putting worms in her drink. That was interesting. That was quite good. They had a name and I've forgotten them. I really should write bloody things down, shouldn't I, man? But they were called glips or something like that. I don't know. They had a name. It was like a live worm. They put it in their fizz. And I guess it has some kind of intoxicating effect maybe to add to your drink. But it was ironic. I loved that. The fact that we kept cutting back from the prison to them. And though they were living a life of luxury, you know, sipping champagne and all of that, they were all susceptible. Or nobody is safe even in that room, you know what I mean? They'd throw her in that prison as quick as anybody, you know what I mean? And he was put in there pretty darn quick for pretty little. The one gripe I've got with the whole situation of him going to prison is the fact that apparently they don't know who he is. They should be able to facial scan tech any prisoner going in, and it should align with the fact that they're looking for Cassian Andor, but at the minute they don't know who he is. But, you know, that ain't no plot hole really, is it? It's not a problem. But it's just an observation I made that, you know, if they've got all this technology, including the security in that prison, they should really know who he is, because they've got images of him now and they know who Cassian Andor is. Facial scan tech, it's a simple thing, isn't it, really? They could probably identify every person who walks in that place from their records, you know what I'm saying? But still, the Bureau, I love the Bureau. The blonde girl, I've forgotten her name. She's brilliant. I really want a figure of her. And it just sort of, another excuse for me to film these guys, although the only one out of these three that I think is security is my man Wolf Yularen there. But, you know, he is an Imperial Director Krennic, so he would oversee the operations of the Death Star construction. So I would say that would make him more Navy, but I suppose if he's overseeing everything, security and protection and Bureau would probably be involved in his position. Why Grand Admiral Thrawn wears white, I don't know, because he's obviously part of the Imperial Navy, unless there's a crossover with his job description. I'm kind of banking on some nerdlingers out there, no offense, you know what I mean, some Poindexters to get in touch and let me know why Grand Admiral Thrawn is wearing white. Now I've learned who wears white. I never fully understood, but it's the Imperial Security Bureau, the ISB. Speaking of which, Cecil had a little go there, and I actually thought she was going to recruit him, but she's not interested at this stage anyway. She's not letting on that she is anyway. So I don't know where he stands now and what's going to happen with Cecil, or Cecil, or whatever they call him. But she's great. And when they got Bix inside that interrogation cell, got some New Hope vibes there. And now, Your Highness, we shall discuss the location of your hidden rebel base. Except this was a little bit more gritty. Well, very much more. With somebody like in a chair drooling and God knows what he'd been through. And then she was next. She's pretty cool, man. At the minute she was like, get her out of here, or she's seen too much, you know, because he'd been roughed up. But then she was pretty much like, your turn, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Very good, man. Really good, solid stuff. And we're on episode 8. I want it to go on forever, man. I really do. These people going on about slow burn and it's not fast enough. Get out of town, man. Just enjoy it. Soak it in, man. Enjoy this. Episode 8. There's 4 more to go. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The midpoint was the heist, which is starting all this kickoff with security and people. And this is what Lutheran wants. He wants, what's the word now? He wants people to rise up. He wants oppression. That's not what she wants. But it's right, because if these people are getting locked away for this, that, the other, it's going to cause a stir. But then again, it does not look like anyone who goes to prison is getting out anytime soon. That's frightening. That really disturbed me a little, how horrible that jail was. Even though it was clean and pristine, as much food as they want, warm probably, even though they have to go around barefoot. God damn it, man. It was a brilliant episode. I've got him on here because I think I'm going to try and check out this Tales of the Jedi at some point today. Why not? Because it's available. They're all up already. They're about 16 minutes each, about a quarter of an hour, so that's quite good. So short bites. Really looking forward to seeing that. I'm more interested most of all in that series about this fella here, Dooku, and his apprentice, Qui-Gon Jinn. Brilliant, man. Really excited about that. Thank you very much for watching this episode. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.